वेङ्कटाद्रिसमं स्थानं ब्रह्माण्डे नास्ति किञ्चनः वेङ्कटेशसमो देवो न भूतो न भविष्यते. Hari Om. This week's Wow session is about a special ritual in Tirumala for Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka Thiru Venkatachalapati, who is also fondly called as Perumal, Venkanna and Balaji. Vam means papam, kata means to remove. As the Lord of Tirumala removes our papam in Kali Yuga, he is called as Venkateshwara Swami. As per our Puranas, in Kali Yuga, he is a savior for all his devotees. Kalau Sri Venkatanayakaha. Those of us who are familiar with Tirumala always rave for a Suprabhatam Darshanam of Sri Venkateshwara Swami. This is a pre-dawn ritual. Although Tirumala temple is several thousand years old, the ritual of reciting the Suprabhatam was introduced about 600 years ago. The Suprabhatam hymn was written by Prathivadi Bhayankar Annan in 15th century. His maiden name was Hastigirinathan. There is an interesting anecdote about Hastigirinathan, who was a renowned scholar in Sanskrit grammar of Vyakaranam. He defeated an eminent Pandit from North India in a debate, and this achievement earned him a title Prativadi Bhayankar Annan. He is a disciple of celebrated Vaishnava preceptor Manavala Munim. As per the legend, Prativadi Bhayankar Annan's guru Manavala Mamunin ordered him to pen the Suprabhatam in praise of Lord of Seven Hells, and it is believed that Annan composed the entire Suprabhatam in one go in presence of Swami at Tirumala temple itself. The entire Suprabhatam Seva is indeed a unique ritual in Tirumala. A chosen individual from a local Yadava community is bestowed the title Sannidhi Golla, and he plays an important role in this Suprabhatam ritual. Let's familiarize ourselves with the evolution of the institution of Sannidhi Golla. Legend has it that Mahavishnu descended on the earth and was resting in an ant hill. One cow from a herd used to go and empty itself on the ant hill, feeding the Paramatma with milk. Having seen this, the cowherd threw a stick at the cow and it hit the Lord who came out of the anthill to protect the cow. Lord Vishnu first cursed the cowherd for intending to cause harm to a cow, but when the cowherd repented his act, Sri Mahavishnu pardoned him and gave him the boon of to worship him first in Kali Yuga when he would emerge in Venkateshwara Avatara. Thus, Sannidhigolla Kainkaryam or ritual is as old as the above legend and is beyond history. In Tirumala, all other Kainkaryams or rituals owe their origin to Ramanujarya. Now let's come back to the Suprabhata Seva ritual. The Sannidhigolla, after completing the morning ablutions, goes to the residence of the Pradhana Archakas situated in the northern side of the temple at about 2 am in the morning. The Archakas accompany the Sannidhigolla to the main temple. Sannidhigolla then proceeds to the Jiyar Mutt in the vicinity of the temple and invites Jiyar Swami or his representative and escorts him back to the temple Mahadwaram. A singer from Annamacharya's lineage also arrives at the Mahadwaram to sing a wake-up kirtana to Lord Venkateshwara. Let's imagine for a moment we are all part of the team involved with the Suprabhatam ritual. As soon as we approach the Mahadwaram clad in traditional attire, we can feel our feet getting wet by a stream of water coming from a pipeline running parallel to the Mahadwaram. This is a reminder to us that we are about to enter a complex termed as Bhuloka Vaikuntham, and this also serves a signal that we should leave behind our worries and focus our mind on Perumal from that point onwards. As we enter the temple, With our right foot taking the first step, we see two statues near the Mahadwaram called Shankanidhi and Padmanidhi. Shankanidhi and Padmanidhi are the guardians of Navanidhi, the treasures of Lord Venkateshwara. As we enter the main temple complex, on the right hand side of the main entrance wall, we can see a crowbar tied to the wall which has a glorious past. Among the galaxy of ardent devotees of Swami, Anantalvar was one to count. Anantalvar was given the task of cultivating a garden for growing flowers for Lord Venkateswara Swami. This order was given by Ramanujacharya. One day, Anantalvar and his wife were digging the earth for creating a small pond for the new garden. The Lord appeared in form of a young lad and wanted to help them in this task. However, Anantalvar refused to take any help, and when the lad was still persisting, he throws the crowbar which struck at Swami's chin. Anantalvar won the heart of Swami not by praising him but hurting the Lord with the crowbar. Anantalvar realized his mistake and begged the Lord to forgive his blunder. The Lord blessed his devotee with a rare blessing that the camphor mark adorning his chin to cover the injury made out of crowbar thrown by Anantalvar will serve as a symbol of Anantalvar's devotion to Perumal. Few steps into the temple, we can see a large tulabharam or weighing scale. This ritual of weighing oneself in the weighing scale and offering gold, silver, coins, fruits, sugar, jaggery, food grains, etc., equivalent to the weight of the person as an offering to Lord Balaji, is a very special seva. After crossing Tulabharam, we can see a pavilion named Ranganayaka Mandapam on the left hand side. This mandapam was constructed in 1310 AD. In 1320 AD, when Sri Rangam shrine was under attack from foreign invaders, the Archakas with great difficulty shifted the Utsava Murtis of Sri Rangam temple to Tirumala, and these Utsava Murtis were worshipped in this mandapam for about 40 years. It is in this mandapam the famous Nitya Kalyana Utsavams were performed to Lord initially, but due to increase in pilgrim rush, the daily Kalyana Utsavams are now performed in Sampangi Pradakshinam Pavilion. On the opposite side of Ranganayaka Mandapam, there is another pavilion known as Aina Mahal or Addala Meda in Telugu. This is a small hall with walls adorned with mirrors. In this hall, a special ritual called Dolotsavam is performed at 2 pm every day in the afternoon. Lord Venkateshwara, along with his consorts, enjoys the swing on a cradle for about half an hour. Moving ahead further, we can have darshan of Dvajastambham, a gold-plated flag post. During Brahmotsavams, a flag with Garuda imprint is hoisted on this Dvajastambham for extending an invitation to all Devi Devatas, Yaksha, Kinnara and Gandharvas to attend this festival. As per Agama Shastras, no structure in the vicinity of the temple premises should be taller than the Dvajastambham. The threshold opposite to the Dvajastambham is called the silver entrance. Inscriptions say that the construction of this fortifications of this second entrance was started in 12th century and completed in the 13th century. From this point, we can see the gold-plated walls of Ananda Nilayam. The Sannidhi takes the lead and opens the door of Ananda Nilayam using a special key called Kunchekola. Kunchekola is a carved key which is inserted into a small hole to open the main doors of the Ananda Nilayam, which are locked and bolted from inside. The moment we enter the Ananda Nilayam premises, we can hear the chant of Om Namo Venkatesa on the audio system in a low volume. We all enter the Ananda Nilayam with Lord's names on our lips, and we have a wonderful darshan of Garuda standing in a standing pose with his wings spread. The legend says that Garuda is ever ready to fly the Swami back to Vaikuntham at a moment's notice. We all are now facing the Garbha Alayam and we can see the statues of Jaya and Vijaya on either side of the golden gates. Jaya and Vijaya are the chief guards of Mahavishnu. The Archakas start chanting Suprabhatam standing at this gate while Sanidhi Golla opens the doors of the golden gates. Interestingly, the first verse of Suprabhatam, Kausalya Suprajarama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narasarthula Kartavyam Daivamanhikam, is not written by Pratibhadi Bhayankarannan. In fact, this shloka is from Balakandam of Valmiki Ramayana. Vishwamitra chants this shlokam to wake up Sri Rama and Lakshmana, who were accompanying him to save the yaga from obstructions created by the Rakshasas. Sanidhigolla leads a team of select Archakas into the main sanctorum and doors are then closed. The Archakas perform the morning oblations to the Lord through Vedic chants and offer the first Arati and Nevedyam to Swami, and this is called Namanita Arati. All these rituals are performed in Ekantam or privacy. However, Sanidhagolla is granted the privilege of first darshan and first prasadam due to the boon given by Lord Venkateshwara in era gone by. Let's join the other devotees and enter the golden gate while chanting Om Namo Venkatesha. And we enter a very pious pavilion called Snapana Mandapam. There are two rooms on either side of this mandapam. In the right side room, the hundi collection is kept, and in the left side room, Swami's jewels are stored. After crossing couple of more pavilions called Ramulavari Meda and Sayana Mandapam, we finally reach one of the most revered place called Kulashekara Padi. Kulashekara was a Vaishnava devotee. He has made a humble request to Lord to transform him to a stone threshold or padi in Tamil in front of the Lord so that he can have a glimpse of divine beauty every day. Hence, this threshold was named after him as Kulashekara Padi. Only the Archakas are allowed to cross the Kulashekara Padi. The Moola Virat of Lord Venkateshwara is located in the Sanctum Sanctorum called Ananda Nilayam. Let's all have the divine darshan of Perumal from the closest vantage point, which will allow us to see his Divya Mangala Roopam without any pushing or pulling, and most importantly, without the sound of the word Jaragandi echoing in our ears. The Swayambhu or the self-manifested Moola Virat or the Dhruva Bera of Venkateswara Swami stands approximately 10 feet tall on a platform. The face of the Moola Virat has exquisite features. The eyes are partially covered with namam made by Pachakarpuram. The size, shape, and details of the namam are governed by the strict rules laid down by the Vaikhanasa Agamam. The idol has a self manifested crown up to the forehead and the Jatachuta curly hair resting on the shoulder. The image of Lakshmi is integral part to the idol. The idol has four arms. While two of these arms are visible, the other two are curled up at the back in a fist position. According to the legend, the god is saying, although my two back arms are now empty, I am still keeping them ready to use my weapons the moment I realize that there is a threat to humanity in general and to my devotees in particular. The arms that we see in front too are unusually placed. In this, the right hand of Swami is bent at his elbow and is held in a flat position, while his entire open palm is pointing towards his feet. According to Vedic scriptures, this particular position is called Varada Hasta Mudra, the hand that offers blessings. Lord Venkateshwara's left hand is straight down, bent at the wrist, and is found resting just below his left hip. Such a position is called Katya Vilambita Hasta Mudra. Here, Swami is saying, as long as my devotees have complete faith in me, I shall not allow the flood waters of this Bhavasagara go beyond their hip level. Bhavasagara means the ocean of daily turmoils that we go through in this samsara or material world. Now, let us have a close-up views of Swami's lotus feet. The lotus feet are usually covered with tulsi and other flowers on all days except on Thursday, where we have a special darshanam called Nijapada Seva, or during the Abhishekam Seva on Friday. Let us all take a bow at his lotus feet and seek his blessings. After experiencing a most blissful darshan of Venkateshwara Swami or Perumal, let us all now leave Anandalayam with beautiful memories. We all take Tirtham, Prasadam, and make an offering in the Hundi and leave Tirumala. On the return leg, let's pray to Swami to grant us everlasting peace and good health. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. ఏడుకొండలవాడ వెంకటరమణ గోవింద గోవింద.